Hey guys, Ethan Studios here, and welcome on in to my mega review of the Ninjago Summer 2024 wave of sets. Now, the only place these sets have not released just yet is North America. I am in North America. I was able to get them shipped to me overseas. If you have any questions about that, go ahead and leave it down below and I'll kind of try and answer them as best I can. But enough of that. Today is about reviewing all of these sets you see before you here. Of course, one I will not be reviewing is going to be the Tournament Temple City. I actually have a different type of video planned for that one, so stay tuned if you want more coverage on that set and just to get my thoughts on that one. But for these sets here, we've got Cole's Titan Dragon Mech, we've got the Source Dragon of Motion, we've got Zane's Ice Motorcycle, and then we've got the Tournament Arena back there, which can actually connect to the Tournament Temple City. I'll be showing that in a separate video, but the only set here that's missing is going to be the Ninja Ultra Combo Vehicle. I'm going to get into why that is. I actually got an interesting reason for that, so stay tuned. And let's go ahead and jump into things with the smallest set right here, Zane's Ice Motorcycle. So, as far as regular retail availability goes, this $10 set right here is going to be the cheapest one of the wave, but before I show you this real quick, I do want to show you a cheaper alternative. This is going to be the $5 Tournament Battle Pack. If you have a bricks and minifigs near you, or a retail store, kind of like Target, Walmart, that kind of stuff, it is very likely that they will get this polybag here at some point. For $5, you get 2 minifigs, which again is already a steal for anything Lego these days. You're going to get this Wolf Mask Warrior, which is very rare in this wave. I don't really know why. We'll get into more of that later on. You can't really build an army like you did in the earlier wave of sets this year. And then you get Tournament Cole. This is going to be the cheapest way to get him. The only other way is going to be in that Ninja Ultra Combo Vehicle, which is 90 bucks, and then the Tournament Temple City. And then the build here, if we set this to the side, is pretty nice. You can push that up, and the play function will just send these tiles going. And then this is going to be technically the cheapest way to get this brand new short katana piece. This thing is absolutely fantastic, long overdue. And this polybag here is honestly one you could buy multiples of, just to kind of army build these new Wolf Mask Warriors. But setting that aside, this is Zane's Ice Motorcycle. We're finally getting into that one after that little spiel. This thing is pretty solid as a build for $10, and we'll get into kind of my gripes with it in a second. But this thing is fun. You can press it down, and these blades here are just going to move out like that. Really fun play feature there. And then Zane here does stand up. And if we take Zane off, you're going to get a little bit of a better look at how that works. It's just that rubber band piece. And when you press down, it's going to stretch it. I'd be a little worried as to the durability of this thing over time. I wonder if playing with this enough would kind of stretch this thing out and make it lose a little bit of its elasticity. But again, not sure if that's going to happen. I've only had this thing for about a week or two now. This right here is a sticker, unfortunately, not a print. But overall, for 10 bucks, this is a really solid build. The single minifig you're going to get here is Tournament Zane. Absolutely love this suit. This whole tournament line of suits is really awesome. And if I didn't notice earlier, on the back here, it's going to be this dragon symbol, which is a really great way to unify the suits. Something very strange about this wave is that the minifigs themselves do not have their dragon's rising heads. Obviously for Zane it wouldn't work because you'd see the alternate expression, but someone like Cole here is just going to be that classic Ninjago movie Cole expression we're used to. So very interesting to note there. I don't know why that is. I think sticking with the Dragon's Rising theme of faces would have been better, but that's just me. Again, for $10, this set is a win if you want this Zane minifig. It's the cheapest way to get him, but no Wolf Mask Warrior, it just doesn't really feel right to me. One minifig for 10 bucks. I don't know, it just doesn't sit with me, especially when we got that J Battle Pack earlier this year. Again, only $10. The difference is that set had 4 minifigs. This just has the one. But again, really fun little set, just lacking in the minifig department. Probably the very strangest part of this wave of sets is how quickly the price jump is. You jump from a $10 set here all the way up to a $50 set. And then after this, it goes straight to $90. I think once we get to the whole finalization of things, that's going to be my biggest issue with this wave of sets. It's just the lack of availability of cheaper sets, which again, Ninjago, Lego, it's for a younger audience. You want to have a lot of cheaper products for them. So I just found this to be a bit disappointing. But if we go ahead and clear the minifigs out of the way, we can get a little bit of a better look at this thing here. And having this in person, I like this a lot more than the initial photos. I think these two, fun play features, but I'm personally going to be modding them out just to have this just give off a little bit more of a fresh and crisp look. I don't know, I don't think they just stand out a bit for me. Moving up to the right over here, there's this massive drum that really reminds me of the things we used to see on Chin's Island back in Tournament of Elements. I already removed one of them, but there's this little stick piece on the side that you can use to kind of bang on the drum. And then if you move up to the back, there's some Technic here, and that's actually gonna be a play function in the set. If you just pull this out, it's gonna roll this thing off. It's really not the greatest, but if you have some minifigs standing right there, it'll knock them over. Off to the side here, we have this little weapons rack, and then we have this little orange tree build off to the side, and then in the middle, we get the star of the show, this Master Wu statue build. Absolutely love this thing. I don't want to spoil it, but the building technique for it was really, really unique. Just added so much to the building experience for me. He's got this little scroll off to the side here, this brand new baby dragon mold, which we're going to see again in the Source Dragon of Motion, but nice to get a different color of it here. And then two banners up on the back. And there actually is a play function here with these stairs. All right, so we've got Evil J up on the stairs here. There's gonna be this little lever back here, and if you pull that, just gonna knock him right down. Very smoothly integrated into the set here. And then on the side, sand green leaf elements, which are pretty rare. Nice to get those here. And then you're just gonna have a dragon sticker on that side, and you're gonna get the exact same one over on this other side here. The minifig selection in this set is arguably the best in the wave, at least in my opinion. You get 6 fantastic looking minifigs for $50. And of course, these 3, Evil J, Cinder, and Tox, are all completely exclusive to the set. You cannot get them anywhere else. Let's start with this guy though, who can barely stand up. This Wolf Mask Warrior has these brand new claw pieces, which if you angle up into the air, of course he's gonna fall over. If you keep one down, he can stand a little bit, but having them both down like that, or just having him stand on a studded base, is going to be the best way to display this guy. This piece, I just want to show off really quick. This is what this looks like. This really reminds me of something we'd see from Hidden Side, but this is a brand new piece, and I love how it just looks like the shatter spin is just kind of jumping right out of him. And underneath the mask is this exact same head that we saw from earlier this year. The blue doesn't really fit in with this new purple and red color scheme in my opinion, but it's not a huge deal since it is completely hidden under the mask. The 2 ninja included in this set are of course going to be Kai and Sora right here. Something I really want to note with Sora is that she still has this metal printed arm. I wonder if she actually just has a metal arm, which is why it can't be sleeveless like this one over on this side here. So really interesting thing to note there. Kai has this brand new tournament armor piece here. And that can just be taken off like that. Looks very similar to the Skybound one to me. And of course, over on the back, it's going to be that dragon symbol that we've seen before. Something interesting to note, though, is that Sora's here is not actually the same dragon symbol as the rest of the team. Don't know why that is. Probably it's just them trying to have her and Aaron stand out in this wave. The standout, of course, has to be Evil J here. I love the wolves printed onto his torso, and the darker blue really helps him to fit in with the Wolf Mask Warriors. Underneath, we do have that Dragon's Rising face, which I lied earlier. This is actually the only minifig that includes him, but again, he's a villain, so I guess things are a little bit different. That face where he's angry suddenly makes so much more sense now. Lastly, we've got 2 Elemental Masters in this set. We've got Cinder and Tox, respectively. Cinder here is my least favorite figure in the set. I think the ghost tail does not work, and him not having any sort of mask piece just really feels out of place to me. And then Tox over here is absolutely fantastic to finally get her in a Ninjago set. This hairpiece here is completely new as far as I'm concerned. At least it's the first time I'm seeing it. And then the figure has some really great detailing on the front and back. All right, so you're probably wondering, Ethan, where's the Ninja Ultra Combo vehicle you were talking about earlier? Well, I actually did not buy the set. Believe it or not, I usually buy every single Ninjago set for every wave. I've been doing that for a couple of years now, but this is the first time in a while that I decided no. So I just kind of wanted this to be a bit of a PSA for you all that if there's a product that comes out from LEGO that you feel is too overpriced, vote with your wallet. Usually, if I like the product, I'll still buy it, but I'm starting to realize that that's not the right thing to do because that means LEGO will never change their prices. So hopefully they learn from people not buying this set. They really should not be charging that much. And either way, the build itself just looks really, really bad in general. Maybe if this was a $40 or a $50 set, I would buy it. But again, $90 is completely outrageous, especially for a build as poor as that one. All right, with that negativity pushed aside, let's move on to one of the best sets of the wave. This is the $100 Kohl's Titan Dragon Mech, and this thing looks absolutely immaculate. I've been hearing all across the community that this is the best Ninjago mech we've ever gotten. And you know what? Having it in hand, I have to agree with that statement. This thing is beautiful, and the amount of posability, the way you're able to just move this thing around, you can get it in so many different positions. Unfortunately, an issue that has arisen for me is that this thing will break when you move it around just a little bit too much. Of course, there's so much extra detail on this thing that some of the pieces are going to fall off when you're posing it. I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, I'm so thankful for how beautiful this thing looks. But again, you really would have thought they would have been able to find a way around that. So I'm a little conflicted. As far as the actual posability of this thing goes, this is the most we've ever seen from a mech of this size and scale from LEGO. These little winglets or armor plates in the back here move back and forth. You can almost flap them like they're wings, which is pretty cool. The shoulders move up and down. We've got actual elbow joints here, wrist joints, and then the fingers do move around. Moving down to the legs here, you're going to have knee joints, which LEGO almost never does, especially in mechs at this size and scale, because they do tend to, kind of buckle under the pressure, and their system for stopping that is having this little plate here connect down here at the knee, and that'll keep it from falling in whatever position you want. Of course, the legs move back and forth, and then the feet here can move up and down. Of course, getting this thing into cool positions does take a bit of time, so I'm not really going to try and mess around with it too much live on camera, but let me go ahead and show you some of the coolest ones I've found. All right, and I just wanted to quickly show you guys this. This thing does fall apart when you're trying to pose it around too much. I mean, I've already had a couple of pieces fall off, and then the entire torso just completely detached from the legs. And for those wondering, these are the pieces that came off after about doing just 5 poses with the mech. I think from an aesthetic standpoint, this thing is just bar to none. It looks absolutely beautiful, and I really like the inclusion of this dune helicopter blade element for the sword. I think that matches this thing perfectly, but I would be lying to you if I said that this set didn't annoy me. I have gotten pretty frustrated with it just in the times moving it around, posing it. The amount of pieces that fall off is really quite frustrating, and I think it's something that they could have fixed up a bit more, especially because this is a toy for kids. This isn't a UCS set, this isn't a display model, although it certainly could be classified as one, but Ninjago is for kids. So to see all these pieces falling off really does disappoint me as a fan. So I think as a display piece, this thing couldn't be any better, but I think as a toy, it really fails in that regard. As far as minifigs go, this $100 set just includes the one here. This is Mech Armor Cole. This thing is pretty cool. I like the white, again, the white mixed in with the mech. And then you have kind of just the more classic orange and black up top, just like the mech. It's going to be that face underneath, and that happy Cole face at the back. The armor piece is a really interesting choice. I think this figure overall is just very, very strange to me. I don't really know how to feel about it, especially since it's the only one in this set. I think even including just a couple of wolf mask warriors really would have increased the value for me. But it's nice that this one is exclusive, and I have a sneaking suspicion this guy right here is going to go up in value as soon as this set retires, because this is the only way you can get him, and I don't think this mech's going to be very popular. All right, and just like that, we made it to the biggest set in the video. This right here is the Source Dragon of Motion. And this thing is so big that it can't even fully fit in frame. This throne up here just goes way too high up into the sky there, and I absolutely love that. Let me quickly bring out some other Ninjago dragons to compare to this thing right here. This first one is going to be the Lightning Elemental Dragon from last summer's wave. This thing was already huge, and of course the Source Dragon absolutely trumps it. And then we've got Egalt the Master Dragon here. This isn't even a competition. The Source Dragon looks like it could just step on Egalt and crush him. Again, this thing is the biggest Ninjago dragon we've ever gotten, and I absolutely adore it for that. This thing is incredibly heavy, so the fact that they were able to make these legs here, able to be stable enough to hold this whole thing up is incredibly impressive. Love the neck here. Again, super posable. That's something they were really going for with the bigger sets in this wave. You can move the legs around and they're not going to crumble underneath. Of course, you got ankle joints and then you can move the claws around. Not really sure why you'd want to do that though. The throne up here is actually detachable. You just got to remove this chain from each side. And then right down here, if you just lift that up, this whole throne can just come off like that. Again, just sits right nicely there. Personally, for display, I like to take the throne off. I think it looks better without the throne, and it fits on my shelf a little bit better too. But the throne is a super nice inclusion for play. The head looks fantastic. These are going to be the climber mech pieces we got with Kai's climber mech earlier this year. I think the wings on this thing are actually my favorite part about the entire set. We've never seen this much posability with wings. So of course, you can raise them up and down as that comes off. Again, some of the attachment points are not as stable as I'd like them to be, but with a set this heavy, you can't expect perfection in that arena. And then the wings completely fold out like that, which is incredible. So you can have them kind of folded up in the back. You can kind of have them out in this position here and flap them up and down. And then the tail back here, lots of posability as well as this really nice newer blade piece we got with the Elemental mechs in January. To be quite honest, I think my least favorite part of this set is actually the minifig selection here. None of these are exclusive, and what's even crazier to me than that is this is a $150 Lego set. Harry Potter sets in this price range, which again, keep in mind is a licensed theme, so they have to pay fees for it, has double, if not more. I mean, I've seen Harry Potter sets with 13 or 14 figures for $150. So just 6 for a license that Lego owns themselves feels really cheap to me. The 3 heroes included are Kai, Aaron, and Wildfire. Kai we already saw earlier. Wildfire came in the March wave of sets. I don't know why we're getting her again here, but it's a good figure, so I'll take it. And then, believe it or not, this is the cheapest way, a $150 set to get this new Aaron minifig. That is insane to me. Not really a fan of that personally, especially because this is a new character that Lego's trying to push. Don't really know how you're going to get kids to want this character when it's this expensive to get him. Again, no dragon symbol on the back, just like we saw earlier with Sora, but again, I think that's just because Lego's trying to differentiate these 2 new guys from the rest of the Ninja team. We've got 3 villains for this set. You've already seen the Wolf Mask Warrior from earlier. The other 2 are going to be Lord Roz and Jordana here. Jordana is going to have the same face print and hair from the March and January wave of sets. Lord Roz, his head printing just has that new red color on it from the Blood Moon, which is nice. Still can't believe they won't print his teeth on though. Love that his arm printing has finally returned after its absence. Jordana here has the same armor piece that Cinder uses. Just a weird armor piece. I really don't like it. It's just a little too over the top. Lord Roz's new armor piece, though, looks absolutely fantastic in my opinion. And if we take that off, you can just get a little bit of a better look at the back of the torsos for both of these. Again, phenomenal minifigs. I don't know. I think I would have cared more if they were exclusive. It's just strange. I don't know. The minifig selection in this set is kind of upsetting to me personally. And with that, there you have my mega review of the LEGO Ninjago Summer 2024 wave of sets. These are all going to be coinciding with Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 2. This is going to be the Source Tournament part of the season. And let's go ahead and talk about price first. At $10, Zane's Ice Motorcycle is a no-brainer if you want the Zane minifig and you're not going to buy the Tournament Temple City. Aside from that, this set really does not offer much. The $50 Tournament Arena is a must-buy in my opinion. The set itself has over 600 pieces, so if you're a price per part kind of person, there you go, good value. 6 minifigs, good value. Really nice looking build for display. I think you just can't go wrong with this set, even if you have to buy it at full price. Moving on to Cole's Titan Dragon Mech. $100 for this thing seems fair, at least for the build itself. The build looks beautiful on display, but the one minifig is a little bit of a caveat. I don't know how to feel about that. And then the actual durability of the set when you're trying to pose it is a little bit frustrating to me personally. But again, it really depends if you're wanting this for play or for display. And then moving on to the final set, the $150 Source Dragon of Motion. I think this set is a no-brainer if you care about the build. Personally, I care about the build. This is the best Ninjago dragon we've ever gotten, and personally, it's the best Lego dragon we've ever gotten. This thing is massive, full of detail, and it just looks so, so good on a shelf. Minifig selection is pretty lacking, but you get the little mini Source Dragons to go along with it, and that kind of helps make up for it. Of course, the Ninja Team combo vehicle is not here, but at $90, I think it's just an awful set. To be quite frank with you all, I don't want to be too negative, but I also want to call LEGO out when they make bad decisions, and I think that set is one of them, not only for the outrageous price, but also the build itself is just really lacking. But as a whole, what do you all think of this wave? Personally, I like a lot of aspects of it, but I do think it's pretty disappointing when you compare it to last summer's wave. There were just so many more sets, so many more minifigs, to be honest, and just a much broader selection of what you wanted. You could get different things at different price ranges. This wave right here, you really just have to spend big if you want the minifigs and you want the sets from this wave. But those are just my thoughts. I'm going to give this wave a 7 out of 10. There's still a lot to love here, especially with the bigger two builds, the dragon and the mech. Again, please let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What would you rate this wave out of 10? And let me know what sets you're going to pick up. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for a video with the Tournament Temple City very soon. I'm going to be doing something super different and special with that video, so stay tuned. I'll catch y'all later.